Hey, it's John and Mike from brew-juice.com. We are here again, shooting a video, tasting some beers.
Tonight, it's Wednesday, so it must be video.
Must be video time. This is my first sort of attempt at bringing all this hopness we've been doing together into
a new era, double IPA.
Yes.
No longer are we talking about bitterness. It's all about dank, juicy hops.
Fruit bomb in your face.
Yes.
So my goal is, out here on the East Coast, there's like this new thing happening with IPA, which is just a boatload of hops late in the process. A lot of it going in during dry hopping, making these beers that look like orange juice. I've heard it's like orange juice or gravy. Some of these beers look like gravy because they're cloudy, but the aroma like knocks you over with either just the tropical fruit. Pick your favorite hop descriptor, modern age hop descriptor.
Mango.
And that's what
papaya.
That's what they're going for in these beers, is to smack you in the face with all of that and a little bit of bittering to balance. But it's not about having a 100 IBU beer anymore in these styles. What's emerging as a East Coast IPA, which I don't buy into that, but just enough bitterness in the beer to balance it, and then a massive load of hop flavor and hop aroma at the back end. So that was my goal here. Also just experiment with how well can I pull it off, because some of these great beers here that we can get our hands on, it's tough to get some of them.
Yeah.
You got to go to the brewery. You usually got to wait in lines, limited runs, and it's expensive. So we're home brewers.
Yeah.
We've got access to these hops. We've got equipment. We've got water. We've got malt. Let's do it.
Yep.
So let me tell you real quickly while you keep doing your thing.
Sure.
I'll tell you what the recipe was basically, and how we got there. So the basic base malt in this was 50-50 Golden Promise and Weiman Pilsner malt.
Okay.
All right. So I wanted to have that clean pills and a little bit of that, but still have a little bit malt backbone.
Okay.
I also put in there just to maintain some body, because I mashed really low. I actually did a long slow. I want to make a super fermentable wort so it would dry out. That's another classic thing with all IPAs, I think. Super dry, super drinkable. But I put a little carapils in there to maintain body, even though I knew I was going to dry it out. Like half a pound of carapils. There's also a full pound of flaked oats in here.
Oh. Because
that seems to be what I'm seeing about
really
modern East Coast IPAs here. Is they put some oats in there, which also contributes to the haziness, but also helps with that body while you dry the beer out.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if you remember, but this beer also had about a cup of Rice Krispies.
Yeah, that's
because when I was weighing out my oats, I grabbed the oats out of the pantry, and I thought I had the oats container.
Oh.
We put all our stuff in like these Tupperware things.
Yeah.
And as I dumped it into my grains bucket, it was Rice Krispies. I was like, oh, man. And I wasn't going to dig the Rice Krispies out. So I
wasn't going to say anything, but I can taste the Rice Krispies. Right
so
here.
It's vitamin fortified with Rice Krispies. 1 cup in like... The total grain, it's just a big grain bill.
Nice mistake there, but I don't think it's going to ruin everything.
The original gravity of this beer was clocking in about 1070. So big double IPA gravity. I was able to ferment this sucker down to about 1015, 1016, so I was really happy with that. But the hops, that's where it's at. So I got rid of Warrior hops because I didn't want that minty thing going on. And I went back to an old favorite, something I don't hear used a lot. I had 1 ounce of Nugget at 60 minutes.
Nugget.
So Nugget hops to bitter.
Nice.
Then, now this is where it starts coming on, okay? So I did 2 ounces of Falconer's Flight.
Yes, that's right.
At 20 minutes.
Yeah.
2 ounces of Falconer's Flight at 5 minutes. Then I knocked out, and after I fermented for about 5 days in, before fermentation was totally done, then I came back in with 2 ounces each of Citra, Galaxy, and Mosaic.
Wow.
So dry hopped with a total of 6 ounces of hops. And that sat in there for about 4 or 5 days. So I got a great fermentation, big pitch of yeast. This is California Ale Yeast, WLP01. That's a lot of talking. That's the beer. I got to drink some of this beer. This got a little bit of age on it. I brewed this like right at the beginning of...
You got to start canning, man.
End of November.
You got to start getting in the can.
I got to do the cans. Drink it from the can. So right at the end of November, because this was a big push to get this beer done for a holiday party we were having at the house.
Yeah.
It went over extremely well. A bunch of people don't even drink hoppy beers. We're drinking this beer to the point where I was afraid I was going to run out of it before we could shoot this video. So anyway, here we are. Here's a beer.
Cheers. You know, the funny thing is, I had this earlier around New Year's Eve, and it's changed
A lot.
Yeah,
It's changed a lot.
I would say that when I had it, it had a very nice floral, fruity flavor and aroma. And I don't know if it's just because it's a little cold. The aroma is still present, but I remember that, you know, that first pour.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
wow, it's there. And this is new, but no, it's there. It's you spot on. You got a great, strong hop aroma, and it just invites you in, you know. And that's the key to an IPA nowadays. Is just it's got to be there. That aroma just has to be there, so that that first sip, it's sort of the payoff that the nose is telling you that this is going to be a nice, juicy hot bomb.
You want it to be that you can't get away from the aroma as you bring it to your mouth. Like you're like, oh, I just want to drink it, but it's just like aroma in your face.
Yeah. So I remember it being a lot more fruity a couple of weeks ago. Now things have changed a little more to, there's definitely more of an herbal profile to it. So the brightness of the hops are gone, and it's so interesting to me that I mean it is and it's not.
And this is a keg beer, so it's been cold the whole time too, right? So
right.
that's
So
interesting,
it's gonna
right?
go away. But you know, the essential hop oils are delicate, and a little bit of time and a little bit of who knows, maybe just oxidation. I don't know what's going on here.
I would say too, when we had it at New Year's, it was significantly hazier than this. So
I think a lot of things
some
have
stuff
dropped
has
out.
fallen out, and I would be willing to bet stuff that's fallen out is also carried with it some of that hop character.
Yeah.
Some of those oils have gotten stuck to the yeast that was still in suspension,
and have come down.
and also just particulate from the oats and the Rice Krispies. That's definitely settled out a little bit with it. I'm sure when I get down closer to the bottom of the keg, if I give it a little whirl and re-pour, and I get like a much more cloudier pour, I wonder if some of that will come back. But it goes to show you, and all these guys making these super hoppy IPAs are telling you, don't store these things. Don't hold on to these things just because they're high ABV, right?
Yep.
Drink them now. Drink them as soon as you can. I went up to a brewery in Portland, Maine, and got some of their double IPA. The cans had just been canned that morning, and they were sweating from being cold still, and it was November. I mean, this stuff had just come out of the cold room, so you got to drink this stuff super fresh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost a shame to make 5 gallons of this stuff and not be able to consume it before it starts to fall off. I mean, I don't think this tastes bad by any stretch of the imagination. There's still a lot of hop oil, resiny thing there. It's not super bitter, which I like. I can still definitely drink this, but it doesn't have that that mosaic and galaxy thing right up in your face as it did before.
And so I think that's a big lesson, at least for me, that the freshness thing is real. The struggle is real, and and the hop freshness thing is real too. And it's only because I tasted this 3 weeks ago. Because it's not like I have a heady topper and then have one later. And
if I hold it in my mouth and I really chew it a little bit and swallow it, I mean, there's still a nice fruity sweetness.
Because
there.
Everyone chews and swallows their beers.
I don't know what you guys are doing.
But no, it's interesting to me, and I think that's a good tip for anybody who's watching this now, is that the hop freshness thing is real, and that it really does make a difference to drink it fresh. I mean, I didn't know how much, a lot of things in life are marketing. Who knows what the hell's truth or whatever. But this is true. Certainly this beer has changed, and it's still delightful, and yet it was something else. It was something else before, and it was definitely a better example of the hoppy style. Which is, to me, then it becomes something like, if you want to get things into competition, you better have it ready like the day that the entries are due. Meaning like that, if you're gonna bottle it or whatever.
I think it gives a lot more appreciation for guys that win in this category for the national competition.
Yeah.
Because nationals, you've got to submit for the first round, then there's a wait for that second round. So it's almost like you've got to, you have to rebrew this beer
Constantly
for that
brewing
type
it.
of style competition. But
you brew this every week, all year, and then you just give them the freshest one.
But I think I learned a lot here. I mean, this isn't even, I couldn't get all 5 gallons out of the carboy
Yeah.
because of the hop sludge.
Sure.
So, I mean, I think I definitely might rethink my process a little bit. I think I might primary ferment all the way to completion, get some cold crash, and get as much of the other stuff to settle out. So there's not that much to, so it won't pull down hops afterwards. Then maybe go to secondary and dry hop with all those dry hops then. Maybe a little bit longer. Or some people, maybe I would split that 6 ounces into 3 and 3 and do dry hop for 4 days, pull those out, and then come in for another 4 days with another
addition.
Just this layering is what I'm hearing some people do. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'd be worth it. We drink a little bit more of this, then maybe dry hop in the keg a little bit and see what happens in the keg.
I was going to ask you if that was even an option.
It's definitely an option. I mean, you got to sacrifice a little bit. You might have, especially with pellets, using pellets, you put them in a bag and tie them to one of the dip tubes. You might get some pellet. You're going to get some pellet debris in the beer. But I left so much beer behind in the fermenter because I really wanted to make sure I didn't have debris in the beer for the audience that I knew was going to drink it.
Yeah, I know.
Like for us at New Year's, I knew it wouldn't matter so much.
Right.
But for like the big family party, I wanted them to experience this style of beer without being put off by, oh, there's stuff floating in my beer. You know, so we've talked about that type of thing.
Know your audience, absolutely. All right, well, thanks again for watching our videos. If you've subscribed already, thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. We're doing it just to share our knowledge, and hopefully you get something out of it. We try to put something up every week, so it's definitely worth subscribing to our channel. Like and or comment below. We appreciate everything that you guys put down there, especially if you have more questions about IPA or just want to share your own experience, because believe us, we don't know everything. We do know some stuff, and we want to share that with you. So for John and Mike, brew-dudes.com, brew on.
Cheers.